right side is brought down for
player of the game, senior libero Lauren Riskin has control.
Championship district tournaments, we have it here on STSPN. On a hot summer day in May, it's high school lacrosse boys version. It's playoff time here from Glacier Peak High School in Snohomish, Washington. It's the Sumner Spartans coming up and facing the home team, Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Good evening, everybody. Scott Oshman alongside Steve Sawyer and STSPN's presentation of high school boys lacrosse. Steve, let's start with the starting lineups for the visiting Sumner Spartans.
All right, thanks, Scott. At starting attack, we have number 1, Griffin McLeod, and we have number 13, Isaiah Barber, and we have number 25, Tyler Roosh. And at starting middies, we got number 4, Tristan Hempstead. We have number 7, midi faceoff, Johnny Zocola. And we have...
Who else do we have?
Well, that's a good...
You were on such a good roll there as we're getting ready to face off.
Well, starting defenders, we got Jared Fournier. We got Tyler Yant. Oh, and the other, yeah, and Wilson Nelson is the other midi. I apologize, number 18.
No problem.
And then starting defense, Cole Roth. And then in the cage, we got Brisham Harris.
Absolutely. The visiting Sumner Spartans and the visiting Dark Unis tonight. Glacier Peak in the home whites on the X.
And we get a break here, Scott. I'll go over the Glacier Peak starting lineups.
And that goes to Sumner, and at faceoff is Johnny Zocola, number 7. There has a 68% faceoff, and they look like in business. Sumner driving right now, push the back from Meldrum. He picks it up.
No call.
3 officials tonight, Steve Corley, Sean Gerges, and Jacob Bach, as we're already mixing it up. I was down on the field before. As you see, there is no lost kind of intensity. I wanted to say lost love, but it's just too early. It's high school lacrosse. Let's not go there yet.
Yeah.
These two, they don't even know each other.
I mean, it is playoffs. Everybody's pumped up.
Exactly. I looked down. They had I was walking around down there, Steve. They have game faces both on there, and so we'll see what's going on. It's Zocola 7 with it. 7 in black here, black and purple. The Spartans, they're coming up from the Puget Pierce 4A D1 League, finishing third of the 6-4 record, and Glacier Peak out of the Wesco D1 coming in 5-1. There's a shot, and it is in. And to start it off, Sumner, the visiting, goes up 1. That's Isaiah Barber.
Yeah, Scott, perfect. Isaiah Barber gets the ball and takes the right-handed scoop through the 5-hole.
So talking a little bit to the coaches here from Sumner and some on the Glacier Peak, they don't know a lot about each other. They think it's relatively even. And Sumner really wants to try and keep possession as long as possible. They can score quickly on the transition, Steve, but Coach Javin Chow, telling me he really would like to hold some possessions and chew some clock so he can make sure his defense is sound. And they're now Glacier Peak gets their first face-off, and that's Jackson Bobbitt, we thought was injured, but got cleared right before game time.
Yeah, and Scott, both teams are, like you said, they're really new to each other, and actually both coaching staffs are first-year coaching staff, so there's really no history for either of the coaches to know how each other coaches.
And the sun could be playing a little part. That looked like an errant pass there off Gage Russin, 15 in white, and it'll go back to the Spartans here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have some difficulties when they're throwing the ball away from the camera and towards the sideline and catching those passes because the sun's coming right behind our head.
Zakola with it through the midfield, 7. Their featured face-off guy also has 15 goals. They go in right now. There's a shot, and it's saved. There's a flag up.
Looks like a loose ball push after the shot.
Jacob Anderson, the goalkeeper for Glacier Peak. And here's driving. There's a shot side.
Another save, though, off of Anderson's foot.
And Jacob Anderson coming into tonight, 52.4 save percentage, 77 saves on 147 shots. The junior goalie.
Scott, it looks like Sumner's really trying to push it hard early. They've put quite a few shots on goal. They're already 2 saves and 1 goal in, and they're taking it to Glacier Peak early.
1-0 Sumner. 9:57 left to go in this first quarter. And there's a push foul there on big number 50, Travis Anderson, sophomore defender. 30 seconds. So man-up opportunity here. There's a try to shot off a defender. Barber one more time. He's got the 1 goal for Sumner. Now clear. And here comes the Grizzlies. Meldrum, 42, gets it over to big 44. One of their key guys, Ryder Wilkinson, the freshman attacker.
On starting attack, Scott, we got 15 Gage Russin, number 20 Daxton Jensen, and number 44 Ryder Wilkinson. Starting minutes, we have number 7 Kaylin Briggs, number 30 Jackson Cuneo, number 42 Trevor Meldrum. On defense, we got 50 Travis Anderson, 57 Chase Radamski, and number 27 Michael Scheidler. And in the cage tonight, we got 99 Jacob Anderson for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies.
See what happens here, Glacier Peak. And not a ton of teams there in that Wesco D1 quite yet. Nothing like the Puget Pierce. Again, Graham Kapowison did not split, and so they are not allowed, even though they had a very good record, a very solid team. They did not split, so they're not eligible for playoff lacrosse. Up top, that's Jackson Cuneo, 30 in white. Pass there, and Kalen Briggs, he's one of the keys, the general Steve Sawyer for Glacier Peak.
Yeah, really everything starts off of Kalen Briggs, and so they run most of their plays off of number 7 and where he's moving with ball and off ball.
35, Brisham Harris in goal. A 53% save rate. As Steve redirects his headset there.
Sorry, I got wind going into it. Everyone out there.
What a gorgeous night. It kicked up. We were here last night for a girls Snohomish versus Eastside Catholic playoff game. Snohomish victorious. So it's kicked up the heat just a little bit in the low 80s now up here in Snohomish.
Yeah, and Scott, on field, it's probably about 10 degrees hotter, so heat's no joke tonight.
Ryder Wilkinson, 44 over there. We talk about the coaching staffs. You talked earlier as Briggs now goes in left bouncer. And not there this time, but Kalen Briggs coming on late. He had that big game against crosstown rival 3A Snohomish. So now Glacier Peak down 1-0 with 7:24 left in this first quarter, holding some clock. And there's going to be a whistle.
Back.
Gage Russin there.
Hey, Scott, in that earlier one with Kalen Briggs, I mean, when they have opportunities like that, it looks like Harris might have gotten a little bit of piece on it, but Kalen Briggs and the other Glacier Peak Grizzlies really have to put it on Cage when they have opportunities like that. They can't miss those opportunities and just shoot it past Cage.
Both teams just kind of feeling each other out right now. Head coach, first year for Michael Rexroad. But, boy, these guys have some pedigree, don't they? They got a resume. They played big-time lacrosse.
Yeah, both coaches drafted into the MLL. Rexroad is going to play for Denver Outlaws this year.
And you have Christian Mazzone, first-year varsity assistant coach, as well as Glacier Peak turning around here.
Yeah, let's just say their coaching staff knows a little bit about lacrosse.
And same thing with Sumner's coaching staff. They've known each other a long time. A couple of them played together on Lake Tapps when it was a high school program.
Yeah,
and now we're even.
Co-head coach Javin Chow played at BYU.
Ryder right in to the stick of Harris.
Seeing Scott on that one, I would have liked to see him take one more step and find a pass right there instead of trying to make that shot too far out, and there was nobody interrupting the pass, and so goalie saw it all the way in. Harris wasn't going to miss that one.
Pass there, turnover. Unforced here to get back to Glacier Peak. They'll have the ball and another try, just down 1-0 first quarter. Playoff lacrosse here, trying to get to May 25th down to Starfire, and there's some defense right there for the Spartans, number 11, Cole Roth.
Yeah, Cole Roth saying, "How you doing, Jackson Cuneo?" Nice to meet you.
Love what you've done with the place. Could you turn on the AC? Roth coming into tonight. 14 ground balls, 13 caused turnovers, and he'll sit down. And another man up opportunity here, Steve.
Yeah, and Scott, I don't know if you've noticed, but Sumner has some rather large men on defense.
They do.
They got a big D line.
I was down there walking around, and I was like, whoa, hey, there's a big fella, 17.
Yeah, I think what that
Gabe
means
Moole.
for Glacier Peak is that they're going to have to really not focus on the ISO, and they're going to focus a lot more on moving the ball and getting a lot of ball movement, just like that.
There is a shot, another save by Harris. Daxton Jensen, their goal score leader. He fired that one point blank, and Harris sended it back to Jackson right there.
Scott, fantastic backup by the goalie to get Sumner the ball back.
So now, back even one more time here. As they get it in the long stick. 40 in black. Jared Fournier. And Jared still has his stick. Trail check there, though, by Glacier Peak's Michael Scheidler, the senior defender. And there's an offsides call, Steve.
Scott, there's certainly no lack of physicality in this game so far.
Oh, 25, Tyler Roosh there. You saw him on the ride a little bit. Their leading scorer, two-sport varsity athlete, as Glacier Peak now trying to get a good look. They've had a couple, and early on here, Brusham Harris, the goalie for the Spartans, he's dialed in.
Yeah, he's seeing everything that's coming in right now. That's why Glacier Peak really needs to get the ball moving across the cage, and they need to get Harris moving in the cage and get him off his step.
Early on, do you see any time attack points? Here's Jensen one more time, and there's a call. He's in the circle, in the crease for Daxton Jensen. Sophomore captain, so just little mistakes here and there on both sides early on. Typical 4:18 left to go in the first quarter.
You know, Scott, what I'd really like to see is I'd like to see if Glacier Peak would take a chance at running some offense from the X and looking for some cutters from top.
Right, Trevor Helt and Kalen Briggs all in it. Helt, the son of head coach Dave Helt. And you can tell there is, they're not holding back. Kalen will have a breather over there.
No, and Scott, a lot of these players, like you said, are one's two-sport athlete, but most of these players are two-sport athletes, and a lot of them play football, and it's evident by watching them how they're playing right now.
3 officials here for playoff lacrosse. The 4A bracket, and last year Glacier Peak going out in the first round versus Woodinville, who took it pretty far and then ended up losing to Eastlake, who ended up winning everything. Sumner making it last year and going out. And there's a shot there.
Saved by
Low
Anderson.
burner there, yeah. Griffin McLeod, or McLeod, excuse me.
Third time's charm.
Well, I'll keep at it. You just never know.
Another save by Jacob Anderson. So both of the goalies are really dialed in right now, Scott.
They
They're
are.
both seeing it, but I think what's happening is the players are trying to take shots way too far out, and they're not getting the goalies moving, and there's nobody running across the goalie's vision to block the shots. So they're giving the goalies every chance in the world to make a stop.
As you hear Tyler Roosh, the Roosh is on. There's a long burner right there. And they are testing. That's Trevor Helt one more time.
Scott, if you want to equate this to basketball, they're basically taking three-pointers
Yep.
this whole time so far.
That was mid-distance for sure, as Jacob Anderson. And if you're on the near side, throwing to the far side horizontal, that sun can be an issue.
Yeah, I guarantee it's going to be a problem right now, so they're probably trying to avoid that.
And there's an offside. Radomski, 57, frustrated in white.
Yeah, that's just bad communication between the Glacier Peak players. They really have to get on the same page with each other.
1-0, 3 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Not for a lack of shots on goal. Roosh driving, piling, and scores! Oh my! A freight train through the box.
Scott, I think he was driving straight to the end zone on that
Oh
one.
my gosh. And they're calling it. They're going to wave off the goal. We'll see. Steve Corley, Sean Gerges, Jacob Bach are officials tonight. Steve Corley, the head official.
I played lacrosse with Steve Corley in men's
Did you
club.
really?
I did.
So I don't know what the call is. They haven't called it, but you can tell the Roosh. I don't know if it's on fire. It is determined, that's for sure. It is a locomotive.
So the only thing I can think of is maybe Roosh dropped his helmet when he was running through, which is illegal.
And I'm looking down, of course, Roosh playing football as a running back and a middle linebacker. Duh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, he looks like a middle linebacker and running back, and you saw his
I mean, that was an interception running it back for a touchdown. Right
that
there.
or like 3rd and goal.
Yeah.
So let's go back on the replay here. As the crowd already showing their playoff intensity. And they called that on Tyler Roosh. So he'll sit. Again, how many times have we had a man up, or not we have, how many times have Glacier Peak had a man up opportunity here, Steve, early in the first quarter with 2:32 left?
Yeah, and they really need to take advantage of them. And they need to get the goalie moving. They need to get the defense moving, so they're going to have to slide. And they want to get second and third slides out of them, so they get them out of their position, and they get easy shots.
Wilkinson getting over to Briggs, and they're not putting a lot of pressure. They're pulling out, but Sumner not taking the bait so far.
Yeah, I'd really like to see them take their offense to the X and keep it away from the top, because it doesn't seem to be working from top where they like to run it from. And so it'd be nice to have them switch it up a little bit. And
Will Nelson, 18, long stick midi there. As Cuneo now the pass, it's intercepted, broken up, and he couldn't hang on. Fournier there had a nice defensive play, but lost it there, and they'll sit back. And as a minute 36 goes here, we'll see what happens.
yeah, and that's just sharp defense by the defender and getting a stick up in the passing lane, but it's lazy on the part of offense. They got to make crisper passes. They got to get everybody involved.
Helt 14, the top of that defense right now. Now he's guarding Cuneo. Here comes Jensen. Jensen loses the ball down. Jensen on the ground as well. Check while he's down there. And there's a official right on it with 1:06 left to go here in the first quarter. So they are banging and bumping, Steve Sawyer.
Yeah, they're not leaving anything out on the field for sure.
Here's Dax and Jensen, one of their lethal weapons here. Ryder Kavanaugh, the freshman, 44 in white. And again, if you're on that far side, that sun is part of the equation for sure. You got Foley 9, gets it over to Cuneo. Cuneo tries to find an alley left. Back over to Jensen. Jensen, 33 seconds. There's a long stick shot, save again by Harris.
Yeah, Scott, they got to take better shots than that. They really.
Foley knocked down there.
So this should be a loose ball push from behind.
By 18, Will Nelson. And it's going to stay Glacier Peak there with 15 seconds. They have to go to goal quickly. Jensen behind the cage. Rolls. Low burner, low to low. Did he get it in? He did. Just scoots on through the line. And we're tied 1-1.
Oh, Scott Harris had a beat on it, went through his 5-hole. He got stick on it, but it just squeaked over the goal line extended.
27 goals coming into this one for the sophomore attacker, Daxton Jensen. That's clock management, I guess.
It works. It works.
Just how the coaches drew it up. That's what they say,
Yeah.
right, Sawyer?
Yeah. Score everything with 4 seconds left.
Bobbitt for Glacier Peak at the X and trying to see if that's Zacola. 7, Johnny.
Yeah, it should be. Their main Fogo is Zacola, or their main midi face-off Zacola.
And it is Bobbitt.
And it's good to see Bobbitt back, Scott, because he was injured earlier, and it was glad to hear that he was able to make it into the game. And
1-1. Set it back to 0, Steve Sawyer. We'll be back with the second quarter watching high school boys lacrosse playoffs on STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Fred's Rivertown Ale House was established in July of 1994 and is located at 1114 First Street in historic downtown Snohomish. Each time you visit the ale house, you may expect to find new beers and new food choices. Fred's Rivertown Ale House is well known throughout the beer community. Oftentimes, we are the first choice for breweries to introduce new beers, limited or specialty beers, and beers you just won't find anyplace else. At Fred's, we like to say that once we get you through the front door, our friendly service, relaxed family atmosphere, and our quality food and beverages will keep you coming back. Fred's Rivertown.
If you want to see more great high-quality streaming, live streaming here on STSPN for the championships for the boys High School Washington Championship, well, contact STSPN. You can go to the Facebook page, our Facebook page at STSPN. We're available on Twitter. Tell your coaches, tell your family, tell your organizations and inquire to see if you can have your game. It's a shame that you don't get this high quality video streaming with everything you got. We have replay, we have scoreboard, we have clock, all the bells and whistles here to cover the high school championships the 25th of May down there at Starfire. So you can email stspnlive@gmail.com, or you can contact us on Twitter, STSPN, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, we're everybody, STSPN. If you'd like to inquire about having your high school championship or any other playoff, well, not any other playoffs, but your championship games streamed live on STSPN. Right here, we're live, and it's 1-1 on a cooker here.
Hey, and so Scott, we're going to start off. We're going to come out of the timeout. We already have an illegal stick.
Nice.
So that's an unreleasable penalty for an illegal stick on Glacier Peak.
And that's Daxton Jensen.
So they had double stick check. They always check stick from both sides of both teams, and Sumner was clean and Glacier Peak stick was illegal.
But Tyler Roosh back in after he had a goal taken away from an offensive penalty. And Sumner now again on a man-up opportunity.
Scott, it may not have been a goal, but he did score the touchdown.
Yes, he did. Now some ball movement. They're playing a little tighter. Cross crease.
And there's where you have it. You're going to have hard.
That is, yep.
You have hard times catching those balls coming from that side of the field.
Trying to get it to Trevor Hempstead, wearing number 4 there. And Glacier Peak, the Grizzlies, on the run. Inside Ryder, right at the doorstep, puts it in. Ryder Kavanaugh, the freshman, takes him to a 2-1 lead.
Ryder Wilkinson, though.
Ryder Wilkinson, what did I say?
Kavanaugh.
Ryder Wilkinson.
I like that. Ryder
Do you like Kavanaugh?
Go.
Maybe that's his middle name.
He's a good dude. Yeah, Scott, Ryder Wilkinson, he's first in points per game, and he's second in goals for Glacier Peak High School, yet he's only a freshman. 25 goals on the season. Kid's on fire.
We did a game here where I think what did he have, 7?
Yeah, he's just, amazing for a freshman. Amazing.
Kavanaugh Wilkinson, he can score, nonetheless. All you need to know is Ryder.
Yeah.
11:23 left in the second quarter. We'll get the names down I'll get the names down maybe by the end. Steve.
Maybe.
Thanks for helping me.
Yeah. They are written right in front of you.
It is. Takes a village, though. At the X. Zakola and Jackson Bobbitt battling, and 7 Johnny Zakola comes up with it. Sumner, the Spartans traveling all the way. Traffic. There's a long stick right, though, at Jacob Anderson.
Jacob sees it all the way in. And there's no reason to do that, Scott, because they're both playing man down. So you're playing 5-on-5 instead of 6-on-6.
47, that shot there by the LSM. And here comes Kalen Briggs, also running back on the football field this past year. Gets it down over Russin. Russin weaving through traffic. Now he gets checked, loses it. And here comes Zakola, number 7, with it. And they'll regroup. Long pass. In the midfield, wide open was 13 Barber. Sumner now, Roosh.
Perfect feed to Barber, and he just missed that one. Too bad.
Offsides on the Spartans is the call, and in the first half here, a lot of turnovers for both teams.
Yeah, and they got that offsides before the penalty released, and so it's really hard to tell, and you got to keep track when you're only working with 5, and you got to keep track that you can't have 6 on the other end, and so it's easy to lose track and not keep your 3 back on defense.
You see Jackson McSpadden off the JV team, number 6 in white, getting a little playing time. Always fun to see the JV swing players get some opportunities here in playoff lacrosse.
And Scott, Jack McSpadden, this is his first time ever playing lacrosse.
No kidding.
First year ever.
Tonight, right now?
No, first year. First year ever playing lacrosse. Only played 1 year.
That's awesome.
And he's doing fantastic.
That is so great. Foley, number 9, back behind X. And here's Jensen. He rips one. And in the back, the goalie, Harris, will take things into his own hands and get it off to 17 in black, Gabe Moole. And now Sumner, the Spartans, pushing it. And again, a good feed there. Just couldn't hang on is Barber.
Yeah, it's got the Spartans on every single clear. They're getting their offense down and they're getting numbers, but they're missing that last feed.
Hempstead 4 now, looking to see if he can find some room. He'll push it off on the right side. 8:44 left to go in the second quarter. Glacier Peak up just 2-1.
All right, now we're going to see the Sumner like really spread them out, get their defense spread out, see if they can get them moving.
And they were going right off the transition, and Coach Chow telling me they like, there's a nice give and go, but it's stopped by Anderson. Nice look there by Griffin McLeod. Guard on the basketball team.
Scott, that's the benefit of having big size 13 feet.
Yeah, Jacob Anderson.
Nice foot save by Anderson.
He's a big fella. Plays defensive tackle on the football team, and again, just great off-season sport for the football players. And there is McSpadden, 6 in there, just mixing it up right in there. He's not afraid.
Wait, isn't football a great off-season sport for lacrosse
Well,
players?
it depends on who you talk to. At what time of year. Just like in lacrosse, we talk about soccer being a nice off-season.
Well, okay, let's not get carried away.
Yeah, I know. That's our pitch to get everybody to play lacrosse. Now Glacier Peak trying to settle it down. They've done a lot of this, just tossing around the horn, way out. Now Briggs, 7 in white, drives left, tries to find a dish, drives, and it goes right in the stick of the goalie, Brisham Harris. And he's been on fire. Both goalies playing outstanding.
See, and it's Spartans keep the ball, but it's too bad, like goalies clearing it to one man who's covered by 3 players. And you don't want to see him throw it to the team side of the field because you have people coming off and people going on. And so there's just too much traffic over on that side.
Alex Young, 23 with it. Now he just gets it off to Hempstead. Yeah, the midfield has been very busy. A lot of sticks flying and bodies down is trying to attack from the behind X. And there's Roosh! And Roosh gets into it with his first official goal of the evening.
Yeah, Roosh with the overhead tomahawk slam shot. Anderson can't catch up to it.
That had some sauce. As Tyler Roosh ties it up 2-2 with 6:34 left to go in the second quarter. Playoff lacrosse. Playing to see who is going to take on Eastlake. That is a tough draw.
Yeah.
The defending state championship champions in 4A.
Yeah, no joke. Those guys don't fool around. Very well coached.
And the face-off here as that time you saw Owen Carroll taking it for Glacier Peak, and they get it right back. Oh, trying to go. It goes in the stick, in and out.
So we got a slash to the head. Right after possession on the face-off. So I'd like to see Glacier Peak really slow down. I mean, the middies are running full bore on both teams right now, and they're got to be dying from the heat on the field. So they really need to take some time on either end of the field.
1 minute for slashing is the foul, and I want to say that was 33 in there for Glacier Peak.
Yeah, he's the one that got
Tong
slashed on the head.
Now Gage Russin, 15, gets it to the back. There's Jensen, 20. Cuneo, Jackson Cuneo with a heck of a year we saw here with an incredible night here. He gets knocked out and comes back and sends the goal into, keeps it in regulation. Another save there by Harris, a shot by Gage Russin.
So it was a great look from Kalen Briggs, but I'd really like to see Russin take 2 more steps and get more angle.
Meldrum tries to do the no-look pass. And 18 for Sumner, Will Nelson said, nah, I got you. 21 ground balls, another two-sport athlete, wide receiver, DB. These kids are athletes all over the field here.
Yeah, most of the players for Sumner are two-sport athletes.
And they've got some age and some wisdom. Versus Glacier Peak, still a young team.
Yeah, Glacier Peak's got 11 underclassmen of the 15 varsity players.
And Caleb Briggs, he tries to float one through there in the mix-up of the ground ball, and Harris, again, right there, tracking. Still tied here at 2-2 with 5:05 left to go. So that 1 minute unreleasable, they kill that. Does Sumner. Barber working the crease.
Yeah, see, and I think Sumner has the right idea. Now they're running their offense from X.
There's a step down, turnaround, and Anderson right there, right in the meat of his stick right there. He gets it quickly to Meldrum.
You see, Scott, they're not going to get Anderson and they're not going to get Harris on shots like that. Neither of these goalies are falling for those.
Yeah, they're standing still.
They need to get them moving.
Cuneo draws a double, and he gets it back behind to Jensen. Jensen with a goal tonight. And here's Russin. A absolutely gorgeous night here in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the show. Again, reminder, if you want to see your team streamed live during the championships, reach out to STSPN on all the social channels. As Caleb Briggs now, the senior, drives, pops it back, and Meldrum trying to go to Wilkinson, and even Wilkinson's arms not long enough there.
Yeah, need to be Stretch Armstrong for that one.
I've seen quite a few turnovers from both teams. As in the midfield now, Sumner. And here's Roosh. Oh, Roosh just hanging out, loses the rock. Roosh looking in the sun. He just laid his stick down, and a heady play by GP.
I don't think Roosh even saw the long stick right there, and he was just one-handing his stick, and long stick just yard-sailed it out of his hand.
Jensen there had a good cut, but big Gabe Moole got on him right there, tried a low to low, and it went wide. Could have kept going there, maybe had a better look. He kind of stopped on his cut.
I think that's what everybody is really doing. I mean, you'll notice that a lot of players are just not taking that 1, 2, 3 more steps towards the goal and getting the goalie to move and getting them to, I mean, both goalies are just having to stand there and stop shots from way out.
Timeout on the field by the Sumner Spartans. We'll take one, too. You're watching high school playoff boys lacrosse on STSPN. Glacier Peak High School in Snohomish, Washington, about 30-40 minutes northeast. Sumner all the way down to the south end, so a long drive for the Spartans up.
South Dakota School of Mines.
And hey, there you go. We heard that. South Dakota School of Mines playing football. The older brother, Austin Roth, in the background. You can see him with the we'll see if we can get the camera over to the Sumner sideline. You can't miss him. He's in the background, but he's the largest human over there. Oh, we zoomed in. Oh, great. That's exactly, there you go. Want to shout out to, I guess, his grandparents are watching. And Zaccola's watching the ball go right to the back of the net. Johnny Zaccola, his 16th of the season.
So, Scott, if you're going to shoot from that far out, then it better be super hard because that was blistering.
Johnny Zaccola, the Fogo, or the face-off specialist. But, hey, give him, he can also throw it down. 15 on the season, 1 here, and Sumner taking the lead 3-2. First lead for Sumner tonight. 2:30 left in the second. Welcome in all the families from all over the country watching on STSPN. Glad you're with us on a warm, beautiful evening. And Zaccola scores and gets the face-off. Now to Roosh. And Roosh fires from the right side. And Sumner found a pocket, Steve Sawyer. They like it, and they're up by 2 goals with 2:23 left.
Yeah, so Scott, what you're seeing on both of those goals is the goalie was screened. And so when they're taking shots out that far, much a better way of taking a shot when you're that far out is to be screened, and then the goalie's not going to be able to pick it up as quickly. And that's exactly how they're getting him past. This time, he comes right off of his man, shoots sidearm right around it, so goalie's completely screened.
And Michael Rexroad, the first-year head coach, he wants a timeout. As you see him heading to their sidelines, we'll take one, too. You're watching STSPN.com. Talking about Tyler Roosh. Of course, the Roosh is on fire. I don't know if he's on fire yet, but he is definitely smoldering at this point. And, Steve, you had a good quote there. Don't you want to do that again?
I think it would be better served when he shoots it again, but that was such a hard shot that I was saying, like, in the immortal words of Po, the Kung Fu Panda, that was Roosh Skadoosh.
Oh, yeah, everybody got that. That's good stuff right there. 4-2, good stuff right now for visiting Sumner Spartans. Wearing the dark unis on a hot day. And Johnny Zaccola fighting off Bobbitt there. That's been a good battle here early. And we have a whistle and an explanation. And it's going to go to the Spartans.
Yeah, it looked like it was loose ball push on Glacier Peak. But yeah, both Fogos or both face-off men coming into this are really close to 50%. So far they're really just splitting it.
Javin Chow, the co-head coach there for Sumner. Interesting guy. He played at BYU, and then he's a boxing coach.
Yeah, he might have taught some of these guys a little bit of something.
He's still doing it here. He grew up in the Sumner area. And he came back here. He played. There's Roosh, and he likes it. And now Roosh has found a rhythm, and that's a hack trick for Tyler Roosh.
The Roosh is loose.
And Glacier Peak right now does not have an answer for Tyler Roosh. If you're just joining us in the first quarter, he bulldozed his way down with a goal. He got called for it. They took away his goal, and I think that just added a little more fire to him.
Yeah, and I think their automatic defense now, Scott Glacier Peak coaches got to be telling them that as soon as Roosh gets the ball, they got to get double team, and they got to slide to him.
5-2 now, Sumner. We were all tied at 2-2 just minutes ago. 1:31 left to go in the second quarter. And the third seed out of the Puget Pierce division down south right now. They're getting face-offs, and it's been all Roosh. Ball still down. And Sumner comes up with it as he takes a shot from Meldrum. Oh, my. And they're still going at it. Bryce Tannehill, 31 in black. Trevor Meldrum, 42, the sophomore midi.
So, Scott, the refs are letting the players play, but the crowd certainly is not happy with that.
.15 gauge Russin now, so Glacier Peak still very early, but under a minute to go here in the second quarter. But Sumner, right, the last few minutes, all the big mo, all the momentum. Here's Kalen Briggs, 7 in white with it, the senior. Captain, looking to play some D3 next year, considering several places. 32 on the clock, seconds. He runs, time, room, and it bounces in up the midsection of Harris, and that's a timely goal for the senior.
Scott, there's a completely open corridor to the goal. Harris has the ability to see it the entire time, and Kalen Briggs just decides that he's going to blast a cannon right past Harris.
Briggs,
no one's stopping that.
Yeah, last year his duties were more on the scoring. Had to take the load there on the goals. 7 goals coming into tonight, but we saw against crosstown rival, he was our player of the game. He started to feel it, and that's a big goal for Glacier Peak.
No, and being the senior captain, 4-year starter, Briggs knows that he needs to get something like that going because he needs to get his team going. It's one of those sparks that they need right now.
You look at the hot air balloon here in the north end on just a spectacular, epic night. Could have left from Harvey Field in Snohomish. They probably are coming over to watch. Up on the hill, Sumner. It's taken away from Zakola. 19 seconds.
Michael Scheidler stabs it out of the air.
Here comes a long stick. Throws it down, doesn't go anywhere. Hits the dirt, trying to pick it up is Meldrum. 7 seconds. And a timeout by Glacier Peak with 6.9 seconds left. Scheidler.
Coach Rexroad wants to talk about it. He wants to see if they can get one more goal before half with 6.9 seconds left to go.
Oh, Scheidler, the long stick. He over-rotated. Couldn't quite pull it back.
He almost tore a rotator cuff on that one.
It's a timeout. We'll be back. You're watching high school boys playoff lacrosse on STSPN. We're back right here. You hear Steve Sawyer in the background. That's a great job of our guys in the truck picking up that shot of the hot air balloon. Todd Elvig, our executive producer, running the dials here on a sunny evening here, Friday night, and it's getting hot. It is intense. This is playoff lacrosse. Scott Oshman joined along with Steve Sawyer, and we're getting exactly what we thought we would, Steve.
Hey, Scott, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try to power through, but I just swallowed a bug.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's the sacrifices we're doing up here. Meldrum, 2 seconds, 1 second, shoots. It's wide left, and that'll do it. So Sumner, the Spartans, fighting through traffic and more. They are going to go into halftime here with a 5-3 lead. We're going to take a break for halftime. We'll see if we can catch some interviews or maybe some more bugs. Go
Please
text
no.
us, go DM us at STSPN if you want some great coverage of lacrosse. Now's the time. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
Summer's here. It may only last for a couple days, so enjoy it while you can.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Fred's Rivertown Ale House was established in July of 1994 and is located at 1114 First Street in historic downtown Snohomish. Each time you visit the ale house, you may expect to find new beers and new food choices. Fred's Rivertown Ale House is well known throughout the beer community. Oftentimes, we are the first choice for breweries to introduce new beers, limited or specialty beers, and beers you just won't find anyplace else. At Fred's, we like to say that once we get you through the front door, our friendly service, relaxed family atmosphere, and our quality food and beverages will keep you coming back.
It begins with the ball. You see, a ball is not just leather and rubber. A ball is the seed that communities grow around. We're talking split-second moments that become indelible memories. It creates lifelong friendships. It's a reason for people to celebrate. A ball isn't just a ball. It's a life lesson. It's a tool you use to pursue your best. It's how you earn your greatest victories. How you learn to deal with failure. It's a test that you pass. It's a dream that you catch. It's a future you hold in your hands. It's not just a ball. Baden, the official ball of you.
All right, hey, a pop-up celebrity interview here. Austin Roth with us here at halftime. Sumner, you kind of know these Sumner boys, don't you? The
Yes,
younger
sir.
brothers out there?
Yep, out there getting it done right now.
Up 5-3 at halftime at Glacier Peak here. So lacrosse, football, you went and you go play football there in South Dakota, but talk about your days at as a Spartan, Sumner, playing lacrosse in between the pipes.
Oh, it was fun. I mean, it was awesome. Like, from the split off, we were talking about, we used to be the Titans, and then my freshman year is when we first became the Sumner Spartans. And at first, it was kind of just, we're trying to get known as a team. And it was awesome because we had a whole bunch of, like, great, like, offense. We had Thane Beer, Cole Danger was there for 1 year, but
Okay.
it was awesome, just like all the people we had, and it started growing, and then now it's starting to get a big thing.
That's great. So for those of us, again, we talk about Glacier Peak and Snohomish is way up north, and Sumner and the Lake, Bonnie Lake and that area is way down south Puget Sound. Talk about in the last 4 years, how is lacrosse and boys lacrosse building down the south end?
Oh, it's taken off. It's taken off. Like, it went from being one team for like 3 high schools to now every single high school is starting to get their oin teams.
How did you start playing lacrosse? I mean, obviously football, I get it, because you're probably – I'm a big guy, by the way. Just kidding. What's your stats? What do you come in at?
6'4", 275.
Nice. Excellent work. How was the season? It was good. We're going to turn around now. We'll get back to action. Thank you for joining us. Austin Roth, congratulations and best of luck next year playing South Dakota School of Mines up there. Smart guy, too. Absolutely. Scott Oshman, Steve Sawyer, that was fun. Get Austin here. We saw him in the background there rooting on his brother. Number 11, Cole Roth, the sophomore. He's putting some pads on some players. And 42, Meldrum for Glacier Peak. Get it. They go right away and shoot and score. Gabe Russin. Tic-tac-toe. Exactly how Coach Rex Road drew it up, Steve Sawyer.
Yeah, perfect ball movement, perfect transition down the field, getting the goalie moving across the cage. That's exactly the way that you want to do it. And then, Scott, I want to say on your interview, there's no way that TV does the size of that kid justice.
No, I'm 5'9", on my tiptoes. I joke. That's a big fella right there. That's solid.
Austin's a large man.
Fun to see the sport grow all over the state, but especially like we talked about the north end and south end. Is Meldrum now on the X, and Sumner comes up with it. And we'll see what they have adjustment-wise coming out. Again, co-head coach Dave Helt, Javin Chow, JV head coach Brandon Harris, and then Britt Fishburne also on the staff. We'll get there. There's a shot and a goal, and one more time. It's, of course, Mr. Roosh. His fourth.
Yeah, Scott, they just do not have an answer for Roosh right now, and they can't afford to let him come in there and just bulldodge and have free reign at the cage.
You risk doubling him. You got the slide better come early and often if you're going to try and hold him up.
Exactly. I mean, you slide too late, you might as well not bother, but they got to slide early and they got to slide hard.
6-4. They were up by 2 at halftime. Glacier Peak comes out of the break and gets it within 1 and right back at him. Sumner comes in, and it's all been Tyler Roosh so far, the senior.
So withholding on Meldrum. So he kept it in his stick too long in the back of his stick.
Number 6 in black, Peyton Wolf, the senior with the ball. He gets it over there. Again, quickly there's.
So, Scott, with the face-offs, if for the people out there that can't or don't recognize this, their sticks are actually turned backwards, and so they're trying to clamp their stick down backwards on the ball, and the player's not allowed to keep the ball in the back of their stick for any length of time, and so they have to get it out of that in a split second, and it was in Meldrum's stick too long.
Always good to refresh on all the rules. Good crowd here at Glacier Peak High School with a just spectacular movie set view. And look at Roche, stumbling, bumbling, bouncing off players, and Meldrum comes up with it.
And that's how you have to do it. Double team, quick, fast, and you got to play super physical with Roosh.
Anderson Travis tries to get it off to Foley. That was a speedster, and there Jensen in the back, and now he has it in the shade. And I don't think the sun is going to cause as many problems as it starts to sink now for these players in their cross-field passes.
Yeah, definitely on both ends of the field now. You have shade, and so you really only have shade in the middle of the field. So they should be good now. I mean, there's no excuse for them not to make good passes and get a lot of ball movement going now.
Cuneo, 30, gets it over. 6'4", 53, and we saw this in the first half, trying to stretch him out. Briggs driving on Johnny. Zakola fakes it, loses it, and Zakola comes up with a cause turnover and gets it into the goalie Harris's stick. And he drops it in the midfield. It has been treacherous going in the midfield as you see Jensen all over Peyton Wolf.
Red Rover, you're going to get bloody when you come over.
I tell you, that's an alley I don't want to be caught in right there in between the 30s.
Yeah, you're somewhere in between the two 30s and you're getting hit.
Yeah. It started, if you're just joining us, it was right off the whistle. These two have been going at each other. Multiple fouls, multiple penalty called as it's going to give it up to Foley. There's Ryder Wilkinson. I got to practice his name.
So let's see if we can get Glacier Peak now to settle it up and stretch out the defense. They really have to get the defense moving, and they have to get them sliding to get them off of their game.
Sumner with some size, as you see up top. They get it back behind X. There's Jensen. Jensen looking for the pick from Meldrum. Trying to find an alley. Goes right back to Meldrum. Fakes. Crease. Oh, Briggs right inside there. He couldn't handle it. But Wilkinson there to pick it up. So that time, Steve, they tried to invert the field there and go from X. As you see Jensen working his way. And a quick pass. Kalen Briggs had trouble seeing it or something. As big 27, Yant, he gets bounced around, the junior.
Yeah, and Scott, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I believe all first half I was saying that they need to start running their offense from X.
We got to call you Swami, too? I spend all football season calling Tim Boyle Swami. Johnny Zakola having a heck of a night, the junior.
Great lacrosse.
Top, there's from top, a bouncer, and nice job, 6 and White.
Yeah, no, he just couldn't get anything on that ball, so Anderson was able to pick it up really easy.
Spadden there just got enough of it to slow it down for the goalie Anderson, and here comes Glacier Peak down by 2.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, McSpadden is a first-time player. He's never played lacrosse until this year, but he is a fantastic midi defender. Very difficult position to play short stick defender, and he's very good at it.
Jensen now looking Foley on the left side. Watched Max's sister play in the Snohomish win. They're still a Snohomish club, and now an Aaron Pat Cuneo can't hang on. Good defense there by Warner. 47 and black ball still down, and like we talked about, Cuneo.
Helmets flying.
Helmets are off. Bodies are down. There's a couple items on the ground going to be on Craigslist soon if they don't stop this. My goodness gracious, stuff everywhere.
Play it against sports. Come on out. We got some gear for you.
As big 27, Tyler Yant, he drops back. 17 ground balls, 8 caused turnovers. There's a lot of conversation right around the 45. You see in the right corner, there is some convo going on from the big boys. I don't think they're talking about where to go to dinner either.
I think they're just saying where they got their jerseys and that they're cool-looking jerseys.
Briggs tight down to Jansen, can't hold on, and this one goes. It stays in bound, and Foley gets tossed by Harris, but he steps out of bounds, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Scott. I think the crowd doesn't realize that, but goalie stepped out of bounds when he picked the ball up.
Briggs now going tight pass, tries to get to Wilkinson. And again, they're just not connecting for Glacier Peak. right now they're finding post-up moves as Wilkinson gives a shove and effects that pass, and it'll go right back to Glacier Peak, Jacob Anderson.
I think the ref might have missed a call on that one too because the player did step out of bounds.
Enter the midfield at your own risk tonight.
Yeah,
They should put some signs up or something.
That's definitely the gauntlet.
Jackson, trying to go to Wilkinson. He's tall, but not that tall. And here comes 5'7" Radomski. And there's a call there. Was it offside, Steve?
I don't know what that would. I think it was over and back because you can't, once you get the ball, once you push the ball to the offensive end, unless you've lost possession, you can't throw it back over to the other side. So because it wasn't gained by possession by Sumner before or touched by Sumner, it's automatic turnover.
Zach Pepper, 5, calling his name for the first time, I believe. Number 5, the senior.
Yeah, Zach Pepper and Peyton Wolf, number 6, are going to be playing lacrosse together at Wazoo.
And Trevor takes a shot off Jacob Anderson, the goalie. And this one, top shelf, and right in there with a shot and a stop is Jacob Anderson. Again, he's not playing poorly. He's playing very well. Both goalies showing it up tonight.
No, and again, I mean, the goalies are playing fantastic, but these players are making them look better because they're taking shots so far out. I mean, the coaches are probably tearing their hair out with some of these shots because they're just too far out, and the goalie can see it the entire way, so they're giving them all kinds of chances to make a stop.
Under 5 to go here in the third quarter. 2-goal lead for the Spartans. First round of playoffs, culminating on the 25th down in Tequila at Starfire Complex. Splitting out here several years now into more the WIIA version as Meldrum tries to test that side of the goal. Still not a WIAA recognized sport, but the boys definitely splitting up into high school divisions in the 4A, 3A, 2A, and also independent private league.
Yeah, it's definitely growing in the state, and it's really growing across the United States. I mean, it's considered the fastest growing sport in the United States, and it's very close to making it into the Olympics. So, I mean, this is one of the hotbed regions where it's growing fast.
Jensen behind now. Foley thinks about it, but doesn't quite get it, and not on the same page, but there to back him up is Jackson Cuneo.
Seen right there, I think it would have been a good idea for Foley to try to take that shot because he had a screen from the defender, and the goalie wouldn't have been able to see.
Cuneo! Talk about a screen right there on cue. Steve Sawyer, Jackson Cuneo. It's a sneaky long ranger, and now Glacier Peak within 1.
Yeah, Jackson Cuneo with the overhead changes levels, goes from high to low. Perfectly placed shot. Fantastic.
Senior midi. Big shout out to the Cuneos. In fact, I'm due for a charcoal salmon over noodles, Steve Sawyer.
Yeah, the Cuneos make some good food.
Oh, it's delicious. Within 1 with 3:42 left to go. Jackson, the midi, it's his 5th goal on the year. He's got 14 ground balls, 2 assists. This year he's going to head into Cascadia College next year as there's a ball down, and who comes up with it? Sumner does.
Maybe.
Still, but they got a ways to go.
They got to get it through the gauntlet.
Tannehill relatively untouched, and there is Michael Scheidler, 27 in white. Terrific player. 3:08, and here comes Sumner driving down. They might have numbers. And shoosh! That's too close for comfort if you're the goalie. On the doorstep, rang the bell and put it in. His 5th goal.
Yeah, it's an understatement to say he's on fire right now. They have no answer for him. I mean, you got to put 3 players on him.
Tyler Roosh with his 5th goal in this one. He had 5 in the loss to Graham Kapowison on the 2nd of May.
Scott, I think everybody needs to start taking their shoes off and get their socks ready, because I wouldn't be surprised if Foosh gets a sock trick.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, 3 is a hat trick. Throw your hat out. 6 is a sock trick. Throw your sock out.
It's been really warm. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That could be a public safety issue. Sumner doing a great job here, and here's Roche. Firing down, he wants another one, and Jacob Anderson saves it, and he didn't even realize it there for a second. His right toe might have gotten that one. Caleb Briggs, 7 in white, trying to pull it away.
Yeah, Jacob Anderson just has to smother that one, but great job.
Tyler Roosh, when he swings it, he leaves a mark. As Scheidler now with the long stick through the zone, and now trying to just get it safely over to his teammate Meldrum. 2:19 left to go in this 3rd quarter, 7-5 Sumner.
So
Go ahead.
Well, again, we'll see if Glacier Peak wants to run it from X, and they've been very successful doing that and changing up their offensive strategy a little bit in the second half, and we'll see if they continue that.
Ryder Wilkinson, 44 wide. He's posted up there. He's got Peyton Wolf on him. Obviously, he has some size, but there's not a lot of movement off ball, and we were talking about that at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to have somebody at X. I mean, that's a feeder.
And good defensive play there by Big 17, Gabe Moole out of Jensen's stick. And here comes the fast break. Mani Umano, and Barber puts it in. Isaiah, the sophomore, with his 2nd tonight. And Sumner, boy, they like the transition. They like the fast break.
And that's exactly what he had to get the goalie to do. 2 stick fakes, getting the goalie moving, low to high. It's exactly what has to happen to put it in the net.
That's cold-blooded, dead to rights.
No other way about it.
You look at them on the transition, and talking to Coach Chow before, they like to score quickly. As you just called it, Steve, a good little fake there and changes levels and gets it through to the back of the net. There's a timeout on the field by Glacier Peak. We'll take 1-2. We'll be back with more. 1:28 left in the 3rd. This high-speed internet streaming of live prep sports here on STSPN. If you want to talk to your team or your coaching, 1080p coming out. I just got the word from our executive producer. 5-tool player Todd Elvig. You should see him with a stick in his hand, Steve Sawyer.
A chopstick?
Oh, he can wheel it. 1:28 left in the 3rd. 8-5 Sumner
But isn't that weird how you can only use one chopstick?
It is. And there's Owen Carroll, the sophomore, pulling it in, trying to get it to Russin, and that's been kind of the story so far a little bit for Glacier Peak. They've had some good looks, not connecting quite yet.
No, fantastic ball movement, but you got to be on with every pass, and you got to get it to the stick.
Got some youngins hanging out up here. What a great night. We had two young kids, two twins. They were trying to get an interview at halftime. They had a pushy agent. Under a minute to go now in the third quarter. Glacier Peak, boy, we were tied at 2 early. Sumner took a 3-2 lead, and they have not unrelinquished that lead so far yet. They were up 5-3 at halftime. GP comes up, makes it with 1. Here's Briggs. And Kalen Briggs finds room and time and nails it. Second tonight for the senior Briggs.
Saying I think that's what Briggs' job is, really, as the captain, senior leader of the team. When he sees that the team is getting down and they're not on their game, he needs to come in, take the team on his shoulders, and get them fired up and put one in the net, and that's what he's done again. So let's see if this starts something for Glacier Peak.
4-year varsity senior captain, 5th in goals, 5th in points per game for Glacier Peak. Again, looking at 3 different opportunities in the NAIA D1 and also NCAA D2. I think I was incorrect earlier. Wants to major in business admin, and he's doing some admin right now. And an important face-off as we end the third quarter, as Johnny Zicola runs off. It'll be Sumner. See if they can get one here with 25 seconds left. Where do they go? Guy with his ball just there for a second. 25 in black. He's been everything.
Yeah, let me make a prediction that the ball might come back to him.
Simmons, Jackson Simmons, one of the twin brothers of the Simmons brothers. 12 in black with the ball. 6 seconds. Shoots, and a save by Anderson with 1 second left on the clock.
I think it was actually those ones where Anderson just made it look really good, but it actually missed his stick.
You got to do that to me, really?
Hey, it did look good, though. It did look good. He moved a lot.
We head to the fourth. Just 2 goals. Sumner on top, 8-6. You're watching high school playoff boys lacrosse on the Snohomish Times Sports Network, STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Fred's Rivertown Ale House was...
The Nelson boys, the twins. Speaking of twins, there's the Nelson twins. Those are the 2 characters right there, those lovely kids trying to get on the air at halftime. They know a camera when they see it, Steve Sawyer.
Yeah. They are not shy.
They work the dynamic duo and going well there. Glad you're with us. Fourth quarter right here, playoff first round, Steve Sawyer. Just when Sumner, they had the mojo, they were coming back. Kalen Briggs, the senior, comes in with a big goal and gets it to 8-6.
Yeah, and every time playoffs start, you get a little worried. Is everybody gonna be up for the game? Is the coaches gonna have the right motivational speech? But everybody's coming to play. and they are not disappointing.
Both of these coaching staffs, first year for all these guys, and for Glacier Peak, Michael Rexroad, Christian Mazzone, and then you have all kinds of assistant coaches, which I'll try and find my notes so I give them the props that they solely deserve. And it's 8-6 here. And Meldrum comes out and quickly gets it down to secure it for Glacier Peak. And that's a switch up. They've tried several guys on the X for the Grizzlies, and it's working recently and getting some takes out of Zakola.
No, Meldrum definitely made a difference. I think the problem was Zakola just had more size, and he was outworking him as far as, he was muscling him. And so Meldrum, being a football player, being strong as he is, he's a much better match with Zakola now.
Russin, can Glacier Peak here, opening minutes of the fourth quarter, bring this to a 1-goal deficit? Wilkinson back over Russin now. Jensen quickly. And Briggs, Kalen cannot hang on to the rock, and it gets down. Now ground ball, 50-50 bodies on the ground. And Meldrum once again comes out of the pile.
Oh, it looks like Max Foley came out of there with a little bit of ankle.
He might
have got stepped on the ankle.
He is favoring that. Again, we saw his sister Emily win last night. Snohomish over Eastside Catholic heading to the semifinals for the second year in a row. And here's Meldstrom. And Meldstrom, he can turn it on when he needs to. Wilkinson, top corner. There it is. Good save by Harris.
Harris sees it into his 5-hole the entire way. Great stop.
Long pass by Moole. This one goes up for grabs, and Sumner comes up with it. Good trail check there by Scheidler. But it'll stay Sumner ball, 10-13 left in this game.
It wasn't pretty, Scott, but they got control.
Both teams going out in the first round last year. There's a good cut. Driving, alley, goal. 14 in black, Trevor Helt, the coach's son, the sophomore, puts his first goal through tonight.
Great drive, Scott gets him right on his hip, able to turn his shoulders, get a ton on the ball. Great placement in the goal, high to low.
18 goals on the season, and he puts it up, and that's a big goal for the Spartans to stretch it from 3 with 10:01 left.
Yeah, the Spartans definitely didn't want Glacier Peak getting back on the board and getting any closer and letting them go on a run, and so the Spartans look like they put a stop to that run.
Sumner losing the first round last year to Central Valley. Glacier Peak losing last year to Woodinville. So both teams would like to get to that second round, even though it's most likely going to face Eastlake. Chris O'Doherty's team down there, who's been very strong. And the state champions last year, as Russin swings, and it's off Harris, and it's going to stay Glacier Peak ball. 20 Daxton Jensen will get it. Russin, 9:42 left in this game. Glacier Peak now had it with 2. Cuneo with a big goal in the third. Foley runs off. And they'll wait for Wilkinson to come back in.
So they're going to switch up their tack, and they're going to bring Ryder Wilkinson back into the game and see if they start running from X again. Get the movement going.
Jensen loses it, though. Sometimes he does that. We've seen a couple times where he's got some great moves back there, but he loses the ball, and now Harris, the goalie, has it with a deep, clear center.
You can't you can't front face Moole. He's too big of a long stick, and he's just a beast, and so you can't front face him and give him an opportunity to check your stick.
There's a trip. Johnny comes up with it, trying to get it over to 13 Barber. Once again, Barber has an edge, and Anderson, though, shuts it down.
Yeah, Barber had no angle on that, and he only had one place to go, and Anderson knew exactly where he's going. Just stuffed him.
Yeah, 11 Olmsted, the long stick there, gets it. Scheidler now 8-19. It's 9-6. Glacier Peak here. And it's a push on the far side. Scheidler takes one, a little love tap from Mr. Roosh.
I don't think Roosh knows any speed other than full.
Just all of a sudden there's this white jersey helmet flying across in front of the table.
Penalty on Sumner. Technical push, 30 seconds.
That's a 30-second push on Roosh's second time in the box.
So let's see if they can take advantage of this now.
Yeah,
I mean,
man
this
up.
is their time to get man up, get some ball movement going.
30 seconds, they've kind of used a lot of that time previously in the first half to toss it around outside. Now some more motion from the Grizzlies. And Wilkinson gets it back. Cuneo drives it inside. Kalen Briggs, nobody there, and he puts it through to the back of the net. Kalen Briggs now, he curls off Steve Sawyer, and he is wide open.
Yeah, and I mean, how do you stop that? He goes low to high, or he goes high to low again. And if you have nobody on him and you give him all that time in the world, all he's going to do is wind up, and he has too hard of a shot. Even though the goalie can see it the whole entire way, Harris will never pick it up because he's just shooting it too hard.
In Glacier Peak, you saw that led to that quick rotation cross crease. And Kalen Briggs, throw the hat out for him. His third tonight for the senior. He has come up big for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. 2-goal deficit now, 7:42 left.
That's what you have to do as a captain, Scott. I mean, the captain needs to take the team on his shoulders when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and Kalen Briggs is taking it on his own.
Every face-off, every possession so critical now. And Johnny Zakola, who's having a heck of a night, comes up with it. 7, he wants all of it. Olmsted gets in his way, 11, the long stick, and now he's getting all kinds of business. And Olmsted.
I think Johnny Zakola was actually starting to shoot from the 20 on that one.
I think he was, the windup. And here's the pitch. Olmsted with it. Gets it over to his goalie, and they'll play catch.
He looks like he might have had a little bit of cricket in his past.
Yeah, there you go. And that's broken up. I think Zakola got a stick on it. Good pickup there by Meldrum, who's doubled. Spinning. And now Kalen Briggs, the senior captain, he has come up big. 3 goals in this one, leading all Grizzlies. 6:44 left to go in the game. Can they make it a 1-goal game? As they took advantage of that man-up situation, all even again.
Yeah, Scott, Glacier Peak really needs another goal right here to get within 1. Sumner's been pressing him the entire game and keeping him at stick's length the whole game, and they really need to get within 1 goal here.
Levitt Roth out there working on that side. Here comes Cuneo. Cuneo dodges right. Double, triple, good slide. Russin trying to rotate it. Back now to Jensen. Jensen. Middle open, no one cutting. There's Briggs. Center aisle. Bouncer wide left. Broadway Briggs, he loves it from the top.
See, he's a little bit too far out on that one, but on that previous play when Cuneo had drawed that triple team, somebody's got to come in behind that triple team and be looking for the feed.
Ryder Wilkinson, he finds what he wants, and the freshman gets involved and makes it a 1-goal lead for Sumner.
And there's your answer with Glacier Peak. They get within their 1, so let's see if they can get their face-off now and do it again.
The motion offense finally here for Glacier Peak. They're moving the kids off the ball, and it's presenting some much higher quality looks at the cage, Steve.
Yeah, what you're noticing is especially when they're getting a move and they're sliding, it's leaving the middle open, and the middle wasn't open all first half because they were running everything from the top, and they were able to slide easy.
Johnny Zakola, he's been working that all night, and now Bobbitt back in, had some success. Jackson Bobbitt thought he might be out for tonight, but he was cleared before the game. This is a critical one. 9-8 with 5:54 left to go in this first playoff matchup, and Bobbitt comes out with it. Long pass here to Russin. So Glacier Peak with a chance to tie. Haven't had a tie since 2-2 in the first. Sumner crowd here in front of our broadcast position here. All of a sudden the nerves starting to tighten up a little bit for the guys in black and purple. Jensen behind the cage. Back out Cuneo, swinging it around. Here's how they started. Now let's see if they get Jensen back. Russin working on the left side, looks for a pick. Back up, Ryder. Not there. Sumner now, the defense pressure, and there's Meldrum. Can't get there, and ball down, and Kalen Briggs is right there. Meldrum's still down. Briggs! And it goes in, it crawls in, he stops it, and it literally takes a little breath of air and crosses the goal line, and Kalen Briggs is fourth, ties it up with 4:45 left. Oh my!
Scott, this captain just saying, guys, get on my shoulder. I got this.
Meldrum takes a digger off the pass. It was a high pass. They double it, ball down to the ground. Briggs just in the right place at the right time. And I'm telling you, Harris had that one. Brusham, it just fell to the ground. It was like my beautiful putts. They just, you know, a little breath of air and it rolls across the line, and we're tied with 4:45 left to go. What a game.
Yeah, and the last thing Harris wants to see is number 7, Kalen Briggs, anywhere near the cage with the ball in his stick.
And here's a big face-off win for 31. That's Tannehill, Bryce. But Scheidler gets in the way.
Scheidler, probably their best long stick as far as clearing the ball, holds on to it.
Briggs getting all kinds. He's pushed by Roth. The flag is up. Another flag. Laundry all over the place is Briggs, and now they'll stop, and we're going to get a penalty here, and it's going to be a man-up opportunity for Glacier Peak with 4:18 left to go. As Briggs takes a minute. Taking a lot of beatings, and he's pointing to that right shoulder, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like he might have taken a shot into the shoulder. It might have got a pop a little bit.
Goes over his dad, Eric Briggs, one of the assistant coaches over there with Coach Russin. And so this is big without Briggs on the ground. They got him over on the bench over there. 4 goals. Ryder Wilkinson wide left. It'll stay Glacier Peak. He wound up far out.
Yeah, and Coach Rexrow doesn't want to see Ryder Wilkinson that far out taking the shot. I mean, he really needs to take 3-4 more steps closer into the cage.
Ryder, and a great stop by Harris. Rebound right into the stick of 17. He pushes it back to his goalie. Heads up play by Gabe Moore right there. But right back is Glacier Peak. Jensen. Push, loses it, and he gets it to Harris. What a catch.
The refs are definitely let him play, Scott, because I think they missed a couple calls on that. Definite push on the back right before that potential
Fast
goal.
break, and Roosh can't hang on. He's probably getting stiff down there. He hasn't had the ball in his stick. And it'll be right back with Glacier Peak with another chance, tied up 3:27.
Yeah, the last person they want with the ball at 3:27 left is Roosh.
There's a long pass, tough. And now you're seeing passes going over kids' heads. I think a little juiced up.
There's that gauntlet again, Scott. They're just having difficulty getting it out of that middle section of the field.
In between the 30s, and they are letting them play. Griffin McLeod getting all he can handle by Meldrum and Radomski there. 2:51, all tied at 9.
So now with Glacier Peak tying it up, let's see what Sumner can do right here, Scott. They haven't had the ball for a while, and so I'm not sure if they remember how to do it.
And this is one thing when talking before the game with Coach Chow, he talked about this. He was worried about his defense having to hang in there and just the stamina. As Johnny has all the stamina you need. Johnny Zacola rips it downtown with second goal tonight, and now the Spartans up by 1.
Johnny Zacola gets a great feed, takes 2 steps, turns his hips, and finds the 5-hole.
And Zacola wants a T-shirt, Steve Sawyer. Johnny Zacola bringing the lunch pail and more. Working the face-off. He has 2 goals tonight, and Sumner with a 1-goal lead with 2:30 left to go in the game.
And another point for Roosh on that with the assist.
It's a great point. Now they put 4 on the X. Oh, bobble there. Nelson comes up with it. 18 and black, and it's cut down by Scheidler with a long stick. Boy, the radar is on with Scheidler, the long stick coming through and clears it.
Scott Scheidler's absolutely surgical with that 6-foot pole.
2 minutes left to go, down by 1. Somebody's moving on. Somebody is done for the season. And there is number 7 in white, Kaylin Briggs, back in, the senior. 4 goals, 3 in the second half. Briggs drives left, finds an alley, looks it, flips it back. Now it's Jensen. Jensen up top now with Russin, back over to Cuneo. Cuneo tries to shoot it, but it falls out of his stick. Unbelievable. McLeod, number 1 in black, driving down. Roosh over back to McLeod. Oh, I thought Roosh was going to go to goal.
I thought he was too. I'm surprised at that.
1:04 left to go in the game. A 1-goal lead.
1 minute remaining.
Hanging on is Sumner. Up as much as 3 goals at one point. Tyler Roosh. Hard not to give that young man, if they pull this out, a T-shirt. Our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game. The ball's loose. There's a shot. And Scheidler comes up with it again with 35 seconds. Down by 1 goal.
Scheidler's going to have to move. Scott puts it down the field.
Ryder Wilkinson back over, and Glacier Peak wants a timeout with 24.1 seconds left. Down a goal. They'll see what they draw up to see if they can tie it up. What do you do, Steve Sawyer, if you're Glacier Peak? What do you run?
I think what they're doing is Sumner's defense is triple teaming and double teaming the ball, and what they need to do is they need to draw that triple team, and they need to have somebody come in behind the triple team, because the middle's been open every single time they've done that. And it's whether Glacier Peak players are actually taking advantage of that open spot in the middle or not. But I think you'll see the middle open when you have drive from the wing or you have drive from the back, because Sumner is so aggressive on the slide.
Some great high school boys lacrosse here on STSPN. If you want to see some just smoking, streaming video, high quality coming to you, talk to your team, talk to your club, talk to your parents, and see on the 25th. And contact STSPN on all social, on Facebook, or you can email them at stspnlive@gmail.com. Big thank you to Todd Elvig, our executive producer, running the board tonight. And all the guys in the truck, right, Todd? Scott Oshman, Steve Sawyer, and we have got an absolute beauty. Not only is the weather perfect, this has been an outstanding game.
Yeah, and Scott, Coach Rexroad is also telling Glacier Peak on the sideline that, guys, you need to calm down. You need to make sure of your passes. Passes have to be crisp. We can't lose the game on the dumb pass.
Rex Road, first year varsity head coach, 2018 Big Ten Medal of Honor and Defensive Player of the Year. Two-time All-American, two-time first-team All-Big Ten. He knows what it's like to play big-time lacrosse. And
yeah, it's academic and scholar, scholar All-American, so he's a smart coach too.
Here we go, 23 seconds left. Meldrum, left side, swings right off Harris. Rebound, though, goes to Glacier Peak with Gabe Russin, 15 seconds. Jensen, 20 in white with it, 9 seconds. Briggs, no! 5 seconds, 4 seconds, out of bounds with 4.3. They want the clock reset. 10-9 Sumner. They've been hanging on since early in the first quarter.
Scott, I don't think it gets more tense than this. Sumner's got to have an answer with 5 seconds left in the game.
They put a few ticks back on, and Jensen with it, 20 in white, goes deep. Kevin Wilkinson, Ryder Wilkinson! Top left!
Scott, just a perfect feed from the outside wing. Ryder takes one step, catches the ball, and finds the top corner, opposite side. Harris can't catch up to it.
And we've seen Wilkinson, the freshman. Here you see again on replay. A great drive, and he puts it top left. The big freshman for Glacier Peak, and we're all tied with 0.5 left.
Scott, Sumner and Glacier Peak are definitely not disappointing. This crowd is fired up. Everybody is excited. This is high school boys Washington lacrosse.
Third goal for the freshman attacker tonight, Ryder Wilkinson.
My mistake, 44, Ryder Wilkinson with the goal.
And I tell you what, good thing I got a day off tomorrow. I'm doing a big racing. I'm doing a big event on Sunday. I'm gonna lose my voice, and we are going to OT, baby.
I mean, what would game one of the high school boys playoffs be without an OT?
I tell you what, Sumner, they were riding the Roosh train, and all of a sudden Glacier Peak fights back. Kalen Briggs, he gets hammered in the midfield. He goes out, and he comes back in, and it's Ryder Wilkinson, the freshman, to tie it with 2 seconds or so left. Unbelievable. We will go to overtime.
And I think it was a perfect call from Rexroad because they hadn't run any play from the outside back wing yet, and they get a perfect feed from the back wing. You get a cutter across the middle because the middle's open because they're trying to double the ball. Wilkinson's right there to catch the ball. Quick stick right into the goal. Great ride up from Coach Rexroad.
We'll take a quick break and we'll reset the board. We're going to overtime as you see that tying goal with, let's see, Ryder gets it, 0.8 or 0.5 seconds. We'll be back with overtime right after this. You're watching High School Boys Lacrosse. This is fun on STSPN.
All right, Scott, this is everything. Everything on the line right here. Sudden death, overtime. First team scores, ball game.
Depends on how you look at it. It's either sudden death or sudden victory.
Good point. Good point. I think with this game and having to get through the gauntlet, I'm going to call it sudden death.
Yeah, you're right. I tell you what, call somebody, text somebody, get on the Snapchat machine, whatever you got to do. Send a smoke signal. Tune them in to STSPN.com. You're going to want to catch this one. Just outstanding. As Glacier Peak, they were down 5-3 at halftime. Sumner just looked like they were running away at times with a 3-goal lead. And Glacier Peak just kept fighting back, crawling back with 3 big goals by senior Kaylin Briggs. And then the money shot. I tell you what, none bigger than 44 and white Ryder Wilkinson right with 0.2 seconds left to send it into OT. Here we go.
Notice that Foosh is on the regularly attack. He's on the wing right now.
There he is, and Johnny Zakola been working all night. Meldrum now on the X, and Meldrum once again. Has he been huge or what? Gets it over to Wilkinson. Wilkinson can't hang on. And there's a whistle. And a quick timeout.
Coach
for
just
Glacier
got the
Peak.
Coach Rescrow just got the timeout in when Wilkinson had possession. Great call.
We did a game, Glacier Peak versus Everett, and that was a 2 overtime game, and Wilkinson again was the winner on that one. He had the winning goal.
Young kid, but when it counts, he steps up. I mean, that's just a sign of a real champion.
All right, Sawyer's going to draw it up as you look at beautiful Glacier Peak range. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching high school boys playoff lacrosse overtime bonus action on STSPN. Season covering high school lacrosse, both girls and boys, here in Snohomish County on STSPN. Big thank you to Todd Elvig, our executive producer, 5-tool player, for loading it all up for us. And we have been entertained as we are in the first overtime.
And Scott, knowing Coach Rex Rose, he has something that he writes up specifically for this situation. So we're going to see a lot of ball movement. We're going to see them getting their defense moving.
Meldrum 42 now, seeing if he's going to dodge. No, fakes it now, and Jensen. 4-minute overtime, first team to win, and there's a hot pass. And on his horse goes Kaylin Briggs, the senior, and he'll retain possession, and now we're under 3. First one to score wins. They go on next round of the playoffs.
And Scott, I don't need to tell you, being a former lacrosse player myself, this is one of the most tense parts of playing lacrosse, is these overtime. Nobody wants to drop the ball. Nobody wants to make a mistake, but everybody wants to be the winner.
Meldrum with a high fly ball there, just kind of a looper down to Jensen. Jensen making some moves. Now no one there. Russin looks and thinks about it. And this is exactly what Sumner co-head coach Chow was worried about. This Sumner defense has had pressure on it all fourth quarter for the most part, Steve Sawyer.
Yeah, and the key with Sumner defense is you got to get them to run the doubles and triples, and so you got to draw them.
Trevor Meldrum.
And you got to dump off of the draw.
Inside, tried to save Gabe Russin, was open for a second, tough pass. But they went inside the crease, and it'll be Spartan ball.
Looks like Gabe Russin might have been pushed into the crease, but they called him in the crease on his own or by his own volition. So
Steve Corley, our head referee here with the 3-man crew. And now Sumner, first time in this overtime to get a shot. And of course, Roosh wants it, likes it, throws it, and it's knocked away, but it's not put in, and they win it. Who did that? Was that Johnny? Johnny Zacola, 7 on the rebound. And Sumner moves on.
Scott, absolute amazing save by Anderson. Goes off of his foot, but Zacola gets the rebound and just zips it in low to low. Anderson doesn't even see it.
We'll see it. We'll see if we can try and get that one more time. Roosh had a shot there. I'm not sure what happened to Roosh's shot.
It went, I think Roosh's shot went off of Anderson's foot.
Congratulate both teams on a great season making it to the playoffs.
11-10. Sumner holds on here at Glacier Peak. Ball is down and already goes in, and I think that is 7 or.
Yeah, so Roosh bull dodges in, and he takes a shot, and Anderson takes it off of his foot, bounces back out to about the 10, but Zacola in the perfect opportunity or perfect place picks up the ball low to low, basically hockey slap shots it in, and scores. Anderson never saw it.
Not quite a one-timer, but almost.
I mean, might as well be because game's over.
Unbelievable. The Sumner Spartans come up here. A long drive through traffic on a Friday night in overtime. They come victorious 11-10. Our adrenaline fundraiser play of the game got to be Johnny Zacola, doesn't it?
I mean, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, I was going with Fuchs there for a while, but Zacola at the end of the game, last quarter and a half, just absolutely took control on the ground balls, took control on the face-offs, and wins the game. I mean,
we'll have Johnny Zacola up for the interview on our adrenaline fundraising STSPN player of the game. Come on back with the interview. Sumner in overtime. They're moving on to state playoffs 2019. We'll be right back on STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200+ national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Fred's Rivertown Ale House was established in July of 1994 and is located at 1114 First Street in historic downtown Snohomish. Each time you visit the ale house, you may expect to find new beers and new food choices. Fred's Rivertown Ale House is well known throughout the beer community. Oftentimes, we are the first choice for breweries to introduce new beers, limited or specialty beers, and beers you just won't find anyplace else. At Fred's, we like to say that once we get you through the front door, our friendly service, relaxed family atmosphere, and our quality food and beverages will keep you coming back.
It begins with the ball. You see, a ball is not just leather and rubber. A ball is the seed that communities grow around. We're talking split-second moments that become indelible memories. It creates lifelong friendships.
In here, Johnny Zacola, Sumner in overtime, 11-10. I'm going to ask you to walk us through what happened. It was hard to see. It looked like Roosh got one in. It bounced off. Walk us through what happened out there.
Yeah, well, Tyler Roosh went for the goal, and it bounced off the goalie, and I just saw it in front of me and just picked it up and threw it in. It went in.
Makes it sound so easy. Our STSPN Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game, Johnny Zacola. 3 goals tonight, but I want to talk also your work at X on the face-off. I mean, you guys they had some battles there. You have almost a 60% face-off rate. Tell us about the work in the middle.
Yeah, number 42 and number 4, they definitely got me on some different jumps and stuff. But I guess I battled through for as much as I can. And some of it was pretty hard, but I guess I got it. I got it to my team for what we needed.
What was the team saying? Again, you guys held that 3-goal lead coming in, the pressure, some turnovers. Talk about what your coaching staff, we got to talk to them, what they said to you guys coming out of regulation and going into overtime.
Definitely mentally it was hard for our team. We had to put it together. And our coach just totally helped us through that. And our players, we all just hyped each other up and stuck together, and we got it done.
Unbelievable. That was like a low burner. That was low right off the carpet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you had in mind?
I don't know. I just picked it up, and I tried to stay low because I knew that he was worse low than he was high. So I just thought low, and he was a left-handed goalie, so I just went right, and it went in.
Unbelievable. Johnny Zacola, you're our STSPN Adrenaline Fundraiser Play of the Game. Put it up right there. Congratulations. The winning goal in overtime playoffs. You're heading to the second round for the first time for Sumner.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back. We'll wrap it up real quick. Hold the T-shirt up. We'll get a picture. Sumner 11-10 over Glacier Peak here in playoff high school boys lacrosse. We'll be back right after this. All right, man. Great shot. It was like we played the replay like 10 times. We're trying to figure out what's going on. I know exactly what happened. Of course you did. Hey, congratulations. Go down. Have a good time. Thank you. Oh, hold up. We got to get a picture. Are you going to let us just wrap it up real quick, Todd? Okay, we are still on. Yeah, Steve Sawyer with us right here. Let's just wrap this up, which is hard to do. I mean, it was a battle early. I mean, the intensity was definitely playoff. We were throwing bodies everywhere there, and it continued. We talked about the gauntlet between the 30s.
No, and, you can say what you will about the referees, but they let them play. And it was on both sides. It was a very physical game from the get-go, and both sides were super physical. You could tell that there was a lot of two-sport athletes on the field, and they took advantage of that. And that's exactly what happened at the end of the game. It ended exactly the way that it started. It was unfortunate that it was on, one of those loose ball, off-goal type of situations. But, hey, an amazing ending to a game.
Unbelievable. These are the ones you don't want to see anybody lose. And Glacier Peak coming in that overtime, they had control and possession. Gabe Russin makes a move to goal. He's right on the line. Again, a lot of fans here asking in the replay, again, tough call whether he was pushed into the crease. It's a turnover. Sumner has one shot at it. And, boy, Tyler Roosh, he's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought Tyler was definitely going to score on that one. I mean, he's bull-dodging through there. He's a hard kid to stop. It would have been his 6th goal of the game. But amazing stop by Anderson, but unfortunately they couldn't secure the ball. And, Zacola picks up the ball.
Unbelievable.
And just slap shot into the goal.
Unbelievable.
Just amazing.
All right, that'll do it for us. For Todd Elvig, Steve Sawyer, this is Scott Oshman saying so long. The Sumner Spartans, they are moving on to the next level of playoff lacrosse here in the state of Washington. They win it in overtime, 11-10. Good night, everybody.